solidarity with you if you're out there struggling. Workers of the world, unite. Big shout out to everybody who's working right now, especially in New England. You see how high that water level is? My God. Now, it's got to be nice to be a weatherman. And we'll get to the Amazon class action lawsuit that was filed. Also, I put the link to the article in the description if you want to read it for yourself. It's pretty interesting. We're going to talk about Amazon in a minute and how Jeff Bezos is kind of like the mafia of retail sellers. But it's got to be pretty nice to be a weatherman. Weather lady, weather person, meteorologist, I think that's what they're called now. Unless they don't have a degree, then you're just a weather person. Meteorologist, I'm pretty sure, has a degree. What is that, the study of meteors? Anyways, here in New England, it was 60 this weekend, 50 the past couple days, and then they started warning us about a bomb genesis or bombogenesis, something. A nor'easter coming with a bomb genesis. They said, be careful, you're going to get hit with a foot of snow. Cities were shut down, school were canceled. Everybody's panicking, freaking out. Get your bread, milk and eggs, whatever. Probably not. You get your alternative milk and your cage-free eggs and your gluten-free bread. So everybody's panicking, right? Ready for a foot of snow, and it rained all morning. Now, because the weather was like almost 40 degrees. Now the weather's dropped down to freezing, and it went from rain to icing. So if you could see the water level behind me, I broadcast from this bridge quite a lot, and it's usually very, very low. And right now it's touching the bottom of the bridge. So flooding, yay. And according to Ben Shapiro, if your house gets flooded, you could just sell that. I'm sure there's a real estate agent who would happily try to help you sell a flooded home. Did he think that? Does that mother hear himself when he talks? Or he just likes to talk because so many people buy his BS. Ben Shapiro, you suck. And you're full of it. If you talk fast enough and rattle off stats that nobody can look up because you're talking fast, then I guess you're considered smart. All right, let's talk about Amazon. So this Ars Technica article from yesterday, I believe, or today, pretty fascinating because apparently we're all suing Amazon. Everybody. There were two guys in California who filed a class action lawsuit, and if you use the buy box, that little yellow box that says like buy now on Amazon since 2016, guess what? You're part of the class action law. I think I'm in the class. I don't even know. I got to find out some more. But if you use that little yellow buy box on Amazon from since 2016 to today, you apparently were all a part of this class action lawsuit. Now, I'll say this. I hate Jeff Bezos, and I actively try not to buy things on Amazon. Ever since he went to space on his penis-shaped rocket and he wore that stupid cowboy hat, he looked like a billionaire in a midlife crisis where he's like, I gotta go to space, man. Get divorced. I gotta put on this cowboy hat and feel young again. I bet he blood dopes, huh? I would imagine. Anyways, allegedly. Ever since Jeff Bezos went to space, wore that stupid cowboy hat on the CBS morning show and thanked all of his Amazon customers for sending him to space, I went, that was like a kick in the D. I'm trying to watch my language on here, so bear with me. That was like a kick in the D, and it really made my stomach tense up, and I went, my money shouldn't be sending that asshole to space. And so I just refrained from buying. It's like a last recourse for me, if that's the correct word. Like if I'm in an emergency, I don't have a car, so if I have to, then I'll use Amazon. But over the past few years, I try not to. I do not want to send. I mean, if that guy went to space and let's say it was like, a Challenger mission, if you're old enough to know what that was, then I'd happily fund it. But not just for shits and giggles, so he can come back and, poops and giggles. So he can come back and thank everybody for buying that stupid cowboy hat and the dumb outfit he wore. You got to take yourself out of the perspective of a human on Earth and just think about that for a second. That guy is a maroon. Imagine that. Being a billionaire, going to space, wearing a cowboy hat, getting off, and then thanking all the poor people for sending you there. This is like some weird, effed up movie. Anyways, we're all part of a class action lawsuit that alleges Amazon has a rigged algorithm. So if you go shop on Amazon, you'll see that little buy box. And usually, if you're going to go on Amazon, I'm very price conscious. I'm aware of the cost of things. And I usually try to fill people in. I'm like, that is not the real price. And if you just checked it, just do this. If you want to figure out how rigged Amazon is, put something in your cart, right, that you don't need to buy right away. And just let it sit there for a couple months, okay? And you'll watch the price fluctuate. In fact, it will even alert you. It'll be like, this dropped by $20. Now this went up by $40. It's price gouging. That's what they do. And this lawsuit alleges that Amazon has a rigged algorithm that pushes the FBA, fulfilled by Amazon retailers, which, have you ever gone and like bought from a third party on Amazon, and it's some like weird, it's like Tom22641008 at Gmail sells you stuff, and like that's the name of their store, and then you click on it and they have like 7,000 reviews and 2.5 stars. It's so like Amazon has just become the filthiest marketplace, and it's eradicating local stores. But if let's say Tom at Gmail had a store on Amazon, and it was fulfilled by Amazon, so he sold stuff, and Amazon, was the fulfillment center, delivery, and all that. So they worked in coordination with Amazon. They pay Amazon a higher price to sell on there, so Amazon's getting a cut. This is why Jeff Bezos is like the mafia don of retail, because he's got to get a cut. It's like a protection service. Get this guy for RICO, a RICO Act, right? He's a criminal. He's extorting people for protection to make sure that their stuff pops up first. But Amazon's rigged algorithm pushes Amazon stuff, and these people who are paying Amazon to be on that website to appear as like the best deal for you. So this article states that Amazon's been doing this since before 2016, but as far as they can allege, since 2016, and that it's not always, one, the cheapest, and two, the fastest delivery. So they're hiding. And what I was saying about being like Google, if you Google something, that first page of results is all people who paid the most or tricked the algorithm the best to get on that first page. Go 2-3 pages in and you'll start to get much different results, maybe more authentic, but all these websites are kind of rigged, right? That's what capitalism is all about. It's pay to play. And Amazon's kind of like that. If you Amazon something, would you call it Google on Amazon? Anyways, if you look up something on Amazon to buy, that first page is probably going to be fulfilled by Amazon, somebody that's working in coordination with Amazon, giving them a cut of their sales, or paying them a fee to be featured up front, or it's going to be Jeff Bezos himself selling you stuff. And a lot of the times it's going to have that buy box. This is what the lawsuit's over. That buy box that's hinting to you that they said in the article, they said willfully and deceptively tricked hundreds of millions of users to believe that that buy box was the best deal for the fastest delivery, when in fact it wasn't. And if you, like I said, if you just put stuff in your cart and then save it for later, you'll see that Amazon is not selling you the best price with the fastest delivery. That's been clear to me forever. Again, that's why I'd rather use eBay. If I can shop locally, that doesn't really exist anymore. It kind of sucks. Anyways, if you just tune in, we're talking about how an Ars Technica article, which is down in the, I linked the article in the description if you want to read about it. I'm sure, because they say 80% of Amazon's 300 million users are in the US. So we're all probably going to get a notification email or a letter in the mail saying, hey, you want to be a part of this class action lawsuit? With yes, I do. Anything to try and take Jeff Bezos down. The gauntlet has been laid, Mr. Bezos. You respond, or you're going to hide in space. So these two guys out of California filed this, and if you use the yellow buy box from 2016 till now, you're part of it. Apparently, again, this is all coming to light today. Oh, you've been on two different phones at the same time looking at the same link product, and they show different prices. You know what? I've actually done that with Amazon. I bought something at one price from the buy box, and when it went to my cart, it jumped up like $20 or something. So I screenshotted both of them. My daughter, my oldest, was really smart. She said, next time, screen record it. Because like photos, you know, you're not going to be able to tell like if you just took different photos, but next time I would screen record it. But I called them and I was like, yo, what's going on? I said, go check out my cart. I did it for them. They believed me. But it was basically a scam. It was like it was selling it on the page for one price. And then when you clicked add to cart and you went to ring out, it was like $20 more. It was an insane amount more. And most people maybe not paying attention, but I have to count every penny. So, but that's fascinating that you could be on. Try that, everybody. Let's see what happens. And leave it in the comments what happens. Use your significant other, your friend, your brother's phone, who has sister, mom. Use somebody else's phone. Use your phone. Look up the same thing. Maybe do it at different corners of the house, or maybe call someone and have them do it at the same time with you in a different state, because I guarantee you they're charging you different prices in different states. And screen record it when you look it up. Maybe you can time sync it or synchronize watches, just like regular show. Beep, bop, boop, bop, bop. I love regular show. But yeah, look that up and screen record it, because we could sue Jeff Bezos for or he's already being sued for this. But what does he care? Remember what I said. If the punishment for a crime is a fine, it's not illegal for rich people. And let me go into that. Amazon's already been found guilty of this, okay? Rigging their algorithms so their stuff pops up first, even though it's more expensive and it gets to you slower. The Italian Competition Authority, Italy, you got a competition authority? God bless you. Sounds like we need one of those here in the States. They found Amazon to be guilty of this, and they fined them $1 billion. Now that sounds like a lot, doesn't it? Some of you are probably like, look, they got fined $1 billion. You want to know how much Amazon sales were last year? They can't even give us an actual number. They just said Amazon sales exceeded $574 billion. So imagine getting a fine for $1 billion and you made 574 times that. Would you care? You'd be like, okay. So we the cost of doing business was $1 billion. We made profit over that, $573 billion. You think that's going to slow them down? They're like, who can stop us? Jeff Bezos is literally laughing in our faces going, oh, you're going to find me $1 billion? That's adorable. I make 574 times that. He don't give a rip. That's why I say if the punishment for a crime is a fine, it ain't illegal for the wealthy. Until we start sending these people to jail, I say let's start a petition to charge Jeff Bezos with the RICO Act. Because this dude is a mafia boss in the retailing outlet. And if you're a mom and pop shop, he's poisoning your mind. He's out to destroy you and charge people more. That's the horrible thing about it. Make sure you subscribe, like, and when you hit subscribe, hit the little notification bell, set it to all, so that way you'll know when I go live. Because I got to wrap this one up soon. I had so many other stories to talk about. There's a great article about how artificial intelligence can actually help the working class get better employment. There's a whole thing that I want to talk about, but I'm going to save it. If I can go live again tonight, that's why I say subscribe and hit the bell, because you'll get notified when I go live, but I'm going to try to maybe go live again later. There's obviously a huge storm. If you can see the water levels, they're literally touching, the water is touching the underneath of the bridge. And I don't think it's high tide. I think this is just from the nor'easter bomb genesis. We get bomb cyclones, bomb genesis. The language is so, I'm pretty sure they're creating all these weather words just so the meteorologists can get paid a little more. But, you know, imagine being able to get your job wrong, shut down cities, shut down schools, just get it totally wrong, and people still come to you. I should have been a weatherman. That would have been awesome. Just say what you want. You're like, it's gonna be snowing 40 feet. We were wrong. I don't know, the models said that. It's always the model's fault. We got different models. Yeah? Why don't you just look up? Oh yeah, it's not snowing. Oh, it's actually sunny right now. Jesus. Not on that side. Over here. I don't know if you can see the sun cracking out. All right, so yeah, Amazon willfully and deceptively tricked hundreds of millions of US users. And what's going to happen to Jeff Bezos? You think he's going to go to prison for this? Imagine stealing, it's probably hundreds of millions of dollars from people, and you just get to do it. You just trick people out of their money. Is that fraud? Like, how come if a poor person does that, well, I guess because he's selling them something, there's got to be some kind of illegal thing. Anyways, like I always say, if they want to, if you believe that if somebody steals something, if someone defrauds someone, if somebody commits a crime, and you believe prison is the way to rehab them or teach them a lesson, why doesn't that go for these billionaires? Because they're committing crimes every day. I mean, Italy found them guilty, fined them $1 billion. Why can't they just send them to jail? Be like, you got to learn your lesson. $1 billion is not going to learn your lesson when your sales exceeded 574 billion last year. Like, money doesn't teach these people a lesson. I think it's time to lock them up. And if you don't think so, leave it in the comments. Why not? Why not? Rip my hair out. I bet you don't work for him. So yeah, don't use the buy box unless you want to join the class action lawsuit. And that's what it's saying, that people that have used the Amazon buy box, that little yellow box, since 2016 are probably going to be included in this class action lawsuit. So just be on the lookout for a notification. Even though it doesn't matter. It's like, what are they going to do? Fine them $1 billion. Everybody gets, $3. And Jeff Bezos laughs while he flies to space in a cowboy hat again. What an asshole. I mean, really. God, this is who you decided to give $1 billion to. Well, I can't say that because God doesn't ordain people with money. And if you think that, there's some rich people who think that God has blessed them with this money, like the Joel Osteens and all those assholes. But the truth is if you believe in Jesus, I highly suggest you check out how he lived. He didn't carry cash. He wasn't rich, didn't have a mansion, didn't have a yacht, was poor. So, I don't know. Food for thought. All right, I got to wrap it up in a minute. Agree. Prison sentence 2024. Yes. All right. So thanks so much for tuning in. Please subscribe. Please. I'm going to be doing this live broadcast 5 days a week. The other thing I saw that was horrifying was that in America, it was something like there's 15 million empty homes. I think it was 15 million. See, I have a bunch of stuff I want to talk about. I just don't have the time right now, so I might go live again later. That's why I say subscribe, hit the notification bell. You'll be alerted when we go live, talk about class war stuff, talk about weird things like the weather. But I just seen this article that said in America there are 15 million empty homes. And there's only 650,000 homeless people. We can solve that problem. We can solve that problem easily. There was also While You Slept. I wanted to do this little, I'll never forget, a teacher in high school told me, if you're not paying attention while you sleep, they are passing laws and making bills and the politicians are working overnight that could change your life drastically. And I always thought, I was young, so I didn't fully understand. I was like, while I'm sleeping, what the F? And then you wake up today and I'm like, I got to do a segment called While You Slept, because on Capitol Hill, they stayed up late through the night to pass a $95 billion bill that sent aid to Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan, the Indo-Pacific allies. 95 billion. Do you know how much money it would cost to solve homelessness in America? 20 billion. All the people go, how are we going to pay for it, people? How are we going to pay for this? I mean, 95 billion. And we're not even getting health care out of the deal. Israel has universal health care and we're paying for it. How are we not getting health care? How are we not solving homelessness with a fraction, a quarter of what they just sent overseas? And the politicians are okay with it. Student debt. I forget what that stat was. It was like 15 billion to clear up student debt. 20 billion to solve homelessness in America. I don't know how much it would cost to feed the hungry, but you can't imagine it's harder than homelessness, right? It's got to be less than that or maybe equal to that. That bill could have helped so many Americans, and that's our money that they're just sending overseas for ammunitions in Ukraine. That was part of the article. They're running low on munitions. We gotta buy their guns for them. Well, it's all because it's all rigged, you know. They're buying their ammunition from us. So we're just getting that. Well, we're not getting. The taxpayers are sending that money over there. They're spending it with the military-industrial complex at all the military and ammo depots that we have here in America. So that tax money basically just gets funded through a foreign government back to the very wealthy military industry here in America. And that's how it works, folks. That's how we get robbed. That's how the working class gets stripped of our money. So don't forget, it's tax season. That's where your taxes are going. 95 billion are going to other countries so they can buy weapons from us that won't be invested in the people. It made me so mad. I'm like, and that happened while we slept. While we were sleeping, they were funding their buddies, their military industry friends who help fund them and keep them in power. Meanwhile, you know, there's people freezing on the street right now. We're in the middle of February. There are people freezing and dying across our country. That isn't a joke. My youngest brother's homeless. So that is real life. That is happening right now. And these effing politicians have no problem. No, none of them were saying how we're going to pay for it. They were like, yep, we'll sign off on that check. See you later. Enjoy the dough. No hooks. Don't pay it back. Just send it over to our buddies in the military industry. All right, enough ranting. But this is all the stuff I wanted to talk about. So please hit subscribe. Again, 5 days a week here on The Class War, The Struggle. Solidarity with you. If you work for a living, you're part of the working class. And if you're struggling right now, my heart goes out to you. I know how it is. I'm constantly living in a state of paralyzing depression and absolute panicking fear. But I mask it well. Depressed. Well, like DMX says, to live is to suffer. To find meaning, to survive is to find meaning in that suffering. God bless DMX. We need a DMX right now. Miss that guy. All right, thanks so much. Hit subscribe, hit like, leave it in the comments whether you think Jeff Bezos going to prison would learn a lesson. We'll even let him take his cowboy hat into prison. I'd let him. He could wear that dumb blue spacesuit. And if you don't remember when he thanked people, look that up. It's on. I made a video about it, but so you can find it on my YouTube channel. But you know, if that doesn't make you angry or just make you leery at, like, he's thanking us for sending him to space. That's what he's doing with his money. Just taking joyrides to the atmosphere. What a dick. Meanwhile, his employees are pooping and peeing in bottles because they're not allowed to take breaks when they're delivering your stuff. Oh, great guy. Great guy. You can only hope that he has to poop in a bottle when he's in space and that bottle explodes. And then because there's no gravity, there's just caca flying everywhere and it splatters on his face. And he's like, we're going to clean this off. It's on my new cowboy hat. I can't stand these people. All right, thanks so much.